in Cardymore Cross at 6:30 a.m. with the people to ensure a road isn't closed, or to stop people getting water meters put in that they don't want, or whether it's standing with their turf cutters for their rights. Trevor's always there. He's always there to stand with the people. And I know for a fact that when he's elected to Dáil Éireann, he will stand up for the people of Galway West and South Mayo, something that a lot of our TDs haven't been doing. And in the past 7 years, I've gotten to know Trevor quite well, I'd say, at this stage. And Trevor, to me, he's not just a close comrade, but he's also a close friend. And I know that this is our time. They talk about the opportune moment in the proclamation. Well, this is our opportune moment, so we need to grab it. So Mar sin a Chomhairde, Trevor Ó Clochartaigh.
agus fuór géadfáilte go dtí Cheathrú Rua agus Connemara agus tá daoine anseo as Chlochartaigh, daoine anseo chun dé léitrama as Feriste, as Jauary, as Chlochartaigh agus tá na mór fáilte rú. Bhí mé héann seo mhaitú anseo níos túisce agus mu de breanúir an hall agus mu breanúir líana sécháin a bhí sin agus bhí mar rána mé bhaid an ganí measta méid an álaid sin a líana agus buchsa dia tá mu tarma bucha go leogas tíad agus an íar a córaíana le bheith seo. Má tá ócaid go leor eile siúil tá curma go leor a réí eile ach hí meise agus hí muinte mar fásaí gur se táhachtach go níana on seola seo ar Cheathrú Rua agus go dosach muid an éirí amach dúise seo ar Cheathrú Rua chumach chéanna. So you're all very, very welcome. It's a huge honour and a huge privilege to be here, and I'm extremely grateful to everybody who's made such an effort to be here. We have people from all over the country and people who've made a massive effort to be here tonight, and it's a huge honour to stand in front of you on this occasion. I'd like to thank Mairead for her words. There's been an awful lot of blather in the media about myself and Mairead, which we both refuted and told journalists that they were talking shaffoid, but they still continued to publish it in an effort, I think, to split us as a party and to try and divide us. But Thomas de Chasselet Gale, I was Tamam with the Shahid to talk about Wilmore and Shannon now. Fetrum go bhéh tactic is journey a type now le shafton now Gahamud TD a bheith an baile mór an TD a bheith fwy dúin. Well, tá mis gobar le cúbliana nuas go chulgana an gáile héir agus mú ó has agus cumlam iachse to do it nach an gaid IB was go chéanó. The latest tactic it appears to be to try and divide and conquer, to say, well, you have to have a TD from the town, or you have to have a TD from, can't have 3 TDs from Connemara or whatever. It's a load of rubbish, you know, and in fairness to all of the other people who are elected, they work for everybody across the community and across the constituency, no matter where they live. So we won't fall into that trap either. It's a very poignant night for us as well. Probably the elder lemon of the party in Galway is a man called Vincent Ford. Sorry. And Vincent's very ill at the moment. I visited him earlier on today, and I know Jerry visited him as well, and we just all want to send our prayers and our best wishes to Paulette and Vincent and the family. It doesn't look as if he has much time left with us, and Vincent has been the driving force, and anybody who's involved in Sinn Féin knows Vincent has been the driving force behind this campaign up to date and behind Sinn Féin in Galway for many, many, many years. So, Guillemot, the height is on Vincent off, agus Cholahim is whole in a hinnis, agus, you know, Lena Florence, Lena Weeds, so 2016 is a year of opportunity and promise. Tá bliain mór Adarún, tá cuidhá Caint le fada-in-law. Blianaí le breanú siar, blianaí le breanú in daoine cróga a chomhrún, na féad agus na rá gachara acab le go bheith muide misisitas argláil agus chlán ar glunne saor. Tá mu de swinine go háide figurí náisiúnta bliana ar bhín go leor Caint Pádraig McCarish, Seamus O'Connell, James Connolly, Constant Markovich, Winifred Carney, Dini Ghalleid, agus na rudí éachtacha rinne siad. A Caint was fresh cuiinú na Canary poblachtacha a bhí ngáile le linn na tréimhsí sin na blianta chórún chumá agus an blion se linn. Smaoinú deach go háirid ar bhaoine cos le Liam Ó Lisa, Mícheál Bramach, an Táimíal Ó Lífa, Seomúil Bhaid, Éimeann Caint agus go leor eile. Ach sílim go bheith ceann na rudí móra éachtacha eile faoin blion se freisin agamach mit a smaoinú na léifre áitiúla bhíon. Na gná féidir agus na gná mrá. Féidir agus mrá cos a bhí féin. Agus isan a ggéir a tauchaí níos ár agus níos siide fá muinte insiganta seo. Tá leabhar iontach fáisí ag Cormac Ó Clochartaigh tá múna sa scoileann se níos mór an agéir. Leabhar aglaibh ar rinne Ernie O'Malley, the men will talk to me. Cormac Ó Clochartaigh is a teacher, the history teacher in the school here, is doing incredible work actually for this year of commemorations, but he has a book which he co-authored, which are the Galway interviews by Ernie O'Malley, and he talks about some of our local heroes we had here in Connemara, Colm O'Guire, Peachy, Joe McDonald, Pádraig O'Malley, Jack Fein, Christy Mackin, agus Giliolo, so Tábhacht go Gcuoinech Muid. Gordini Cosadipcha, there are people like yourselves, like ourselves, in rooms like this 100 years ago, who were trying to achieve the same aims that we're trying to achieve, and it's up to us to try and carry that light forward. We've had a little bit of excitement in the last couple of days on the opinion poll in the Galway Advertiser, and it is positive. It's good to get positive feedback from the Galway Advertiser, but I'm very mindful, and all of us in the party are very mindful, that not a single vote has been cast yet. After Sheoladh with the King's Dara for Advertiser gone around. But the piece of Cormac Ó Clochartaigh has an interesting piece in his book. He talks about the 1918 election. He says it was a resounding success for Sinn Féin in Galway. In Galway, they gained over 77% of votes that were cast. Connemara and Galway City elected Pádraig O'Malley, North Galway elected Dr. Brian Cusack, South Galway elected Frank Fahey, and Liam Mellows was returned unopposed for East Galway. So caha muide a bheith caha muide money na bhain, agus caha muide strip máidir a charún. Tá áru a tastal, agus is féidir an áru sin a bhaint amach. Tá muid an deire a chur leis an rialó bhí na pártaithe a tá tréis tip ar bhuiite na héideann, ó híomh an phoblacht a bhí tastalhain a bhaint amach, agus an phoblacht ar chreid na daoine cróg sin an 1960 ar a hum. What we're looking for is a progressive government that would build a fair recovery, would invest in public services, and would progress the cause of Irish unity. And we want to see Sinn Féin lead such a government. Fine Gael and Labour talk of stability and chaos, but the truth is they've delivered the chaos in hospitals, chaos in housing, and chaos in communities over the past 5 years. Níl le chuir dá mulog ar gona bheith sa siomra ná an drama bhfuil muid a cant go bar na doise, maidir leis an imlí atá teachaí ar bheith cúpla seachtain maidir le cuasaí sláinte, cuasaí tichíochta agus a drama nach bhfuil páiró ardach. They're not promising stability, they're promising more of the same. So let's look at their record. On housing, they've taken the sides of the banks, the landlords and the developers. Tá míle chuchéad páiste sa tíorse a cúnaí I Góral Éigeanbáil. 1,500 children are sleeping in emergency accommodation. Tá 9,800 chlán tití siar I Rialashí ó híomh go Moragashí. 98,000 families in mortgage arrears. Tá císaí ordaí. Tá daoine á díomhar tamach a go tiche, agus tá daoine go dídean ar fud an Ilanse. There's no social housing being built, and we're seeing crises in traveller and student accommodation. Tá sé fééis gabhadh siar freisin le dramas nó ar heasta cúna agus tacaíocht mhór. The benefits to those most in need have been cut, and they've imposed the property tax and water charges on all of us. They failed the health service, and they believe that it's acceptable that our grandparents, our parents, our partners and our children languish on waiting lists and hospital trolleys. Tá lína is fiche a lair trollaithe in Hospital na Gaillimhe agus muid Caint Joe. There are 29 people on trolleys in University Hospital Galway today. And along with that, we also have the longest waiting lists in the country. They claim their austerity policies have led to recovery. This is a lie. Since 2008, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and Labour have cut 32,000 jobs in the public service. They've placed the private debt of banks, bondholders and developers onto the shoulders of the people like you. A generation has been lost to emigration because the debate Jauary canvas on the deputies behind this year. Ought to be here, not either on Taoiseach. Make ticket follow, do to us, can't repeat our Barney, Jauary policy here in real to share. Tá the can't do it, Barney, Jacob, because dog, 3 million in the old, and Cheershra, and 3 million in the old, it's up to 3 million in Cheershra, and each another. So we're still seeing huge numbers of young people between 18 and 25 emigrating, even though we're being told that the economy has turned the corner. Couldn't we default to Remain Rudma? It was Jauary. We welcome any job announcements that are being made and any jobs that are being provided. But the reality is that this government can take very little credit really for those jobs being brought about. The driver of the limited recovery that we have is due to external and global issues such as the exchange rate with sterling and the dollar, oil prices and changes to global taxation. Sheoladh ag rialtas na ríide ná barna it's a drama will add get back because a drama will avadu tile. So those who have more and those who didn't have as much are paying more. We're second only to the USA in terms of the difference between the highest paid and the lowest paid. This government's responsible for the erosion of workers' rights and greater insecure employment. We've seen examples of that in our own constituency if you look at the case of the Dunstores workers, and we also had a case which we highlighted recently in Connemara here of the workers in HID. Agus an clí bhfuil na haidrithe á chahal sin into láta nniuman, is mór an áda, agus is mór an áda gúta ras na bhelta tá lig an cadda bhfuil hédíana. Under this government, while communities have been devastated and families struggle, it's worth remembering that the top 250 individuals saw their wealth increase by 16% to €75 billion in 2015. This is not the record that any government should be proud of. This is the record of parties that have failed to deliver. Parties that lack a vision, a plan, and lack ambition for our people and our economy. Tá onsa gin tan gaige agus ar an ghailta freisin, an televisiéir agus faran tar go háran, curious the scuddling, stáisiún Gardaí áhúna, agrafí pobl in those playrock agus cumasimi, cursí fostíocht agus mar sin de go tilé. Dail sé Jo Steve O'Nachtan duine go chud léach ra héin agus fear bhfuil an basca dó amid, neabhair sin na dearmas go altaní bit trífeige, agus a dús neabhair dearn se sa réhrá. Síle manisha bhíanaise na hamleise agus na drachmanistíochta a dag ar dír san ggéircéim in a bhfuilsí. Gur bheith trúí nar arda an gnáphobal an glór níos minicí, nó badéir gandál gur chuir géile bhí mórfud gan éirí an arda is content a dag ar tír go munial i bhíocha. Tá Ceartaigh Jo, ach ní muid a sí sér níos mó. Tá muid a garda war an glór, tá daoine ó achta sí éagsúla, na bainteoirí múna, Dini tá chuir iad atá isce, iascarí agus feidhmóirí, daoine le réachta na sí speisialta, grúpaí mianlaí, muinte na túthe agus na bhéiteachta, tá siad a seasa le chéile, tá siad a teach, tá siad a teach. So we are seeing people standing together, we are seeing people raising their voices. We did see the turf cutters, the people who are opposing water charges, fishermen, farmers, people with special needs, minority groups, etc. All have stood up and claimed their rights and asked for their rights. And what we're seeing here are representatives from an awful lot of those different groups standing here as part of this campaign. And I'm very, very grateful that we are standing together because that's what we need to do. They have tried to divide and conquer us for far too long. We do need to stand together. We need to elect TDs that are going to try and change that system. I guess I'm going to word that here because I'm going to talk to you. Sinn Féin have a vision. It's grounded in the Republican values of 1916, and I believe that it's also the vision of the ordinary men and women of Galway West and South Mayo. We have a plan for a fair recovery that will benefit all of our people equally. Tá Sinn Féin I ggéireadh I gceannas rialtas, atá sásta gan a gobar le cormaíocht, le rachmas, le éinteacht, agus le cináltacht a Chlochartaigh. Tá muid ggéir fear phobal a Chlochartaigh. That's our ambition. but we need the help of every single person in this room and more to try and deliver that. Our political opponents say, let's keep the recovery going, yet they reward the wealthy. Sinn Féin's not only for keeping the recovery going, we are for making it a fair recovery. So tá muid tiomanta go chudhá rudaí, tá muid tiomanta go tackle le Loch Gno, agus fostiacht a chrothú, a boston í carta, a bhfuil páicart agus go díolach a carta gaileis. We want to help low and middle-income families by increasing the minimum wage, abolishing the property tax and water charges, and tackling extortionate mortgages. Tá muid géire déadach leis an éigeandáil tiiciachta. We want to build 100,000 social and affordable homes, support the rights of tenants, and help those in mortgage distress. Tá muid géire déadach a chur leis na trálaithe. We want to end the trolley and waiting list crisis, spending on healthcare by 3.3 billion to move from a failing two-tier health system to universal healthcare. Rebuilding rural Ireland by ensuring we have communities where the quality of life is matched by the quality of public services and which welcomes back those forced to emigrate over recent years. Tá muid géire go nach referán maidir le éintach na héireann, agus tá muid géire na céimeannaí ó thóga leis sin a dhéanamh. Tá muid géire an caimiléireacht agus an drochampar a bhí lé na cuasaí políteachta Jauary agus tá muid géire leidú a dhéanamh ar fáil na volatility. Tá muid géire na pobal túthain neartú agus takeíocht breise a thuairt na Gaeilge agus na Gaeltacht. And these aren't hollow promises, not like the other parties who just want to try and hoodwink you when it's coming up to an election. Because I have noticed that in my time as an elected representative, the Sinn Féin representatives do work hard and they do deliver. We've delivered in terms of the peace process. We've delivered in the Northern Executive and we deliver in councils across Ireland. I want to be a Sinn Féin TD for this constituency to deliver on that potential here, for you and with you. Tá mé géire mar hachta dálaí, le aigú son agus leabhar chuid you. Tá mé tréis aigú go crua le cóbliana in sa seanad, i géire ceistnaí ardú a sína muid tá tábhachta go phobal in sa Eanáir, agus tá muid géire a rialtas le gur féidirlinn an áú atá testan a chuir gríomh. Tá mé géire go bheici rialtas Sinn Féin i gan sa leatlia, a gobar leis an cóhinál Rua, a géire aber a cheistnaí an óséintach na héireann cuasaí cormaíochta cuasaí aigeantais. We also work with our MEPs at a European level to ensure that we can promote social solidarity, but ensure that we assert our sovereignty and get a better deal for Irish people. That's the task in front of all of us. That's the historic opportunity that we have. And this is the opportunity that we must all rise to meet. Tá lá Fine Gael an Olltoghcháin agus Fianna Fáil I gabhadh sa tíocht chun deile. This is our time. It's our time to make real the promises of 1916 and every generation of our patriots. So bhhainm buchas a lach le bheith siacht teannach, bhhainm buchas lach leis an drám ó takeíocht nó hí bhanonda de úsáid. Tá mé hanamh buach na ceoltóirí na fonadaí na chulabhanna tátar takeíocht ó hí síimsíocht an seo. Bhhainm buchas a lach le chumrádaí Sinn Féin atá a gobar lágus ige a géire muid a hawa in san Olltoghcháin. Agus rá nachbud Sinn Féin atá teacht ó Caint riile ó chóirí éagsam atá tart chulagúnahún chuile bheanach. Is mór ein mór daceíocht fad. Bhhainm míle buchas a lach le Jauary asacht príomhachta dhéanamh, tosaíochta dhéanamh go Chonamara, gon Feachtais seo agus an séachnadála áirithe seo agus an tám ó thógáil teachtain seo le bheith seo in na nacht. A chu deire bhhainm buchas a lach le Mali agus na gasú agus Macháin agus go uintear ar fad agus mar féadí bheith muid an anna seo dhéanamh dubán ó rialach. So we're putting out the challenge to all of you. Join us in the rising. Join us in building the republic. Join us in breaking with the parties of the past. Tá níos fearr tiltte ag our muintir, ag an eacnamaíocht, ag our sebhísí, agus ag our náisiún. Gealaí má hátar leis mar hachta dála, má hátar muide a rialtas. Cóilíonn muid in na galantí tá muid a tóirt, seasamh muid lí agus seasamh muid ar bhór son, gur mí margaret.